That's a fact. So we must get back to the neutral point, get back to that center point within self, to the unmoved mover. And that's where our power lies. We can't keep being moved by illusions and gain power. We're going to have to get to a part of ourselves that cannot be moved and that can move this material world divinely to the experiences and circumstances that we want to manifest for ourselves, for our community, and ultimately the world. So that's the purpose of that meditation, to get back to that center point. None of this stuff is real. The only sense of realness that it has is the energy that we give to it, period. When we give our energy to it, we make it real. When God created His universe, He gave energy. He gave His energy. The universe is His own energy. And when He becomes separated, when she becomes separated from her own energy, then we become lost, because the energy that we gave to things that are their existence becomes something other than us. And we fight against our own karma. Do you follow what I'm saying? We fight against our own reactions. So it has to come to a point where we neutralize our relationship to the energies within and outside of self. We come to a neutral point to to restore balance internally, externally, and to our social world and to our social affairs. But we will never restore balance if we are reacting. We must go to where balance is restored. We must go back to the source. That's the reality. And that source is within self. And allow balance. Allow the truth within self to prevail. Allow our essence to surface. To transcend the illusions of the material world is to allow the essence within you to surface. The essence within us is that darkness, is that peace, is that serenity. That must surface. What is surfaced from us is nothing. When they say we are shallow, what do they mean by that? When we are superficial, that means we have not got back to the essence of ourselves. So our essence has not surfaced. Just bubbles that keep getting bursted by negative experiences. But to get back to the surface of ourselves, to get to the essence of self and allow that essence to surface, that is God. That is the God self. Not just some reactionary personality, but I'm talking about your essence. The essence of who you are surfaces and arises to be the pinnacle of your consciousness. That is the reality of the God self. Your essence surfacing. A lot of times our scattered thoughts are surfacing. Our reaction to situations, circumstances, people, those are surfacing and becoming personalities. That's what you call a fear-based personality. Do you follow what I'm saying? When you have created this whole egotistical model, that's a reaction to your fear. A prototype of personhood that is a reaction to fear. Like you got people who present themselves to be tough, and toughness as their personality. But what happened is that they have created a personality type that is reacting to a fear. Do you hear what I'm saying? That is not the essence of themselves. Because in the essence of themselves, there is no fear or no one to fear. There is no duality. There is no you outside of you. It's all your energy. Essence knows. The source knows that all is one. So there is no fear. So there is no personality type born from fear. Do you see what I'm saying? There is no way to react. Then you reach what we call being. What is that? Being is not something you do as an individual. Being is when you recognize that there is no separation between you and the universe. Y'all know what I'm saying? Being is when you recognize that there's no separation between you and the universe. Because you need to do, because there's separation. If you're separated, there's a lot to do. But if you're in a state of being, all is connected with you. You are what you're being, where you're being, and how you're being. And that's connected to the universe. You see what I'm saying? It's inseparable. Being is an ocean. Doing is a drop. So when we reach a state of being, your being encompasses all that you need to do. Because you're connected to everyone. So in being, you're doing everything. The difference is you realize it. You follow what I'm saying? Because even when you're doing, you're still being. But we call being when you realize the essence of yourself as it relates to the entire universe. That's a fact. We struggle to communicate ideas and to make things happen as though these things are not happening with us. That we are somehow isolated in this universe and that we have to do it all ourselves. Am I correct? We have to convince all of these people and make all of these changes. But our being does that. Our being is aware that we are all these people and all these things that need to be done. We're all connected to them. Being knows that when we change to any degree internally, that we change the world externally. Being is aware that we have a constant, non-stop, energetic relationship to all that is. Being knows this. Doing is unaware of this. Doing does everything. And everything that it does is left undone. Being does nothing. And everything that it does is complete. Ain't that deep? So we have to get back to being. Black supremacy is a state of being. It is not a state of doing. Everything that you can do can be undone. But if it be, it is. Do you follow what I'm saying? It simply is. We don't want this to be a doing. It'll be temporary. But if we have become and transformed into the energy and of the essence of who we are as supreme beings has arose as our predominant personality, then we've made the change. We've made the transformation that need to be made. Any evil that we can imagine in the world, whether we call it the Illuminati or whatever name we give to it, can all be brought down to a personality type and some entity that maintains some position based on what? A personality type, right? But what is our personality type? Is it the personality type of change? Has essence surfaced? Or are we just a reaction to the evils in the world? And even reaction to evil in the world is evil. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's very evil. It perpetuates evil. But to reach a state of essence, that's the change that we want to see. Because evil goes on by reacting constantly to the illusion of its existence. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? This is how evil is perpetuated. It constantly reacts to the illusion of its own existence. And it just keeps going off of that. Somebody's going to rob me, so I'm going to have to rob somebody that's going to rob me. And it just keeps going on. And no one realizes that we all own everything. That we all are everything. And that the one we fear is us. The one we fear is feared by us. So at some point we got to get the essence. We need God to be born. The solution to the problem in our community and our world is that we need God to be born. But do you know where we need God to be born at? Within self. That's the biggest challenge. We're looking for God. We need God to manifest. where we need him to manifest, where we need her to manifest, is within self. That is our world Savior. God has to be born. Essence must arise. It must be our dominant personality. Then God will be in the world. And when God is in the world, everybody is secure. Everybody is happy. Everybody is peaceful. Because that reality is there. But when there's no God, that's just reaction to illusions. That's just a house of mirrors. Y'all saw Bruce Lee in I believe it was Enter the Dragon. That was a deep, knowledge in that movie. Where he went in to fight the highest dude in Enter the Dragon, I believe. And he had to destroy so many mirrors. We're fighting a lot of mirrors. A lot of mirrors. But when we change self, all the mirrors change simultaneously. That's a fact. So our thing is to bring forth God in self, to have entities realize who they are. Now for some, we must distract them. We must use trickery. We must use trickery to get them to realize who they are. We must make them take their mind off of what's distracting them. That's a fact. We must make them reject their greatest distraction. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? For some, their greatest distraction is the white man. So we must use this because this is their greatest distraction. We must make them reject their greatest distraction and realize themselves. There are billions of different ones. You follow? For many different people. Of many different races and nationalities. But for our people, the main distraction is the white man. If we reject him, we will be very bored. Am I lying? If we reject him and everything he has to offer, we will begin to get very, very bored. And we have to realize who we are. We'll be forced to. We won't have absolutely nothing else to do. So we must play a trick on our people to distract them from their ultimate distraction. Make them reject it and repel
Would
that.
I use Toyota technology?
Because we say we want to, we just turn it all the way down.
Maybe.
Look at that, precisely. Exactly. That's the ultimate distraction I was just talking about. If we can pull ourselves from him. So it's a trick. Black supremacy is a trick to get people up here to realize themselves. That's a fact. We're tricking people to turn them against their biggest distraction, so they can be turned inwardly to realize who they are. That's a fact. But it has nothing to do with the white man per se. Zero to do, because we were divine before he ever even existed. So our divinity is not relative to him in any way. We've made it relative. Black supremacy, white supremacy. No, it's not. It's not relative. It's a non-relative. But since our people are trapped in the realm of relativity, right? They must be given a relative to get them out of it. Some they stuck in relativity. The white man, they never really realize themselves. We must play a trick on them to get them off of that. That's a fact. We got to play some tricks on some white people to get them off white supremacy.